Good greetings to you all, the learners. Today we discuss Obituary written by A.K. Ramanujan. Before we discuss the poem, let's know something about the poet A.K. Ramanujan. He was born on 16th March 1929 and died on 13th July 1993. He was an Indian poet and scholar of Indian literature who wrote in both English and Kannada. He was a poet, scholar, professor, philologist, folklorist, translator, and a playwright. His academic research ranged across 5 languages, that is English, Kannada, Tamil, Telugu, and Sanskrit. He published works on both classical and modern variants of literature and argued strongly for giving local, non-standard dialects in their due. He was awarded the Sahitya Akademi Award posthumously in 1999 for the collected poems. Now over to the poem Obituary. Here in this poem Obituary, the poet A.K. Ramanujan is reminiscing his father's death and the merit and meaning in the speaker's family life. The opening lines enumerate the list of things the father left behind as legacy. The list goes with his table heaped with newspapers full of dust, debts, and daughters. The speaker cards that the poet left them only with the trials and tribulations. The newspapers are just stale pieces of past news, and the father of his own has not contributed much in terms of creativity or productivity. Daughters are considered to be a source of burden in India, not lesser than debts. Parents are entrusted with the responsibility of marrying them off with adequate dowry to suit their status. In a conversational tone, reminiscent of Philip Larkin, he talks about the grandson named after the father who had the incorrigible habit of urinating in bed. This highlights that the poet's father left behind nothing but only memories in the form of debris. He claims that the grandson was named after his father by chance, literally meaning luckily, however signifying the opposite. Added to the legacy is a dilapidated house. The poet mentions that the dilapidated house leaned on the coconut tree through their growing years. The deterioration in their quality of life is apparent from the metaphor of the house. Furthermore, it may also signify that the family had a parasitic life, borrowing from others. The way the house leans on the coconut tree is a simple use for that. The poet utters that his father, being the burning type, burned properly at the cremation. The phrase may connect the feature of his father, his physicality being dried and parched. It may also refer to his wry, hot temperament. In stanza 1, the poet says that when his father died, he left nothing for the family but problems like dust on the table of the papers, debts, unmarried daughters, and a bedwetting grandson whose name is a little bit similar to his father's name. The lines show the poet's dissatisfaction with his father. He doesn't seem to be sorrowful or mournful because of his death. The poet is more concerned about the duties towards his family which he has to perform, rather than mourning or lamenting the death of his father. He has to pay the debts of his father, he has to marry off his sisters, and also has to take care of a young child who urinates in the bed. These lines also show the culture of a typical Indian family, which is patriarchal in nature. Neither the mother of the poet nor his sisters are earning. As the poet is now the eldest male in the family, all the duties are bestowed on him. In second stanza, the poet continues that his father has left a house that leans slowly through our growing years on a bent coconut tree in the yard. The line means that they have inherited a house from his father which is leaning on the coconut tree and thus in a very bad, dilapidated condition. The poet calls his father as the burning type, which indicating that he was a bad-tempered man and would never have behaved properly with him or with other family members. Being hot-tempered, he burned properly at the cremation. The phrase gives the message of tit for tat. And in the third stanza, the line continues from the previous one, which is an example of enjambment. He is burned very easily from both the sides except his eye coins. A coin either signifies his anger or his greed for money, which did not look one bit different even after burning, and also several spinal discs through some of them burned to coal. Now in stanza 4, according to the poet, the remains of his father's pyre are left for son to pick up, as the priest said, facing east where three rivers met near the railway station. These lines show that the priest forces the sons to perform the Hindu rituals. The poet is in no way ready to do that. His father has no grave, as his ashes and remains are thrown in the river with his full name. And fifth stanza, there are also no two dates, that is his birth date and death date, to throw light on his life. The poet calls him incapable, as he didn't do anything on his own. His birth was Caesarean in Brahmin ghetto, and his death was by heart failure in the fruit market. These lines, in my views and as quoted in this article, question the genius of Brahman. In Hinduism, the Brahmins or the upper class are worshipped as avatars of gods. The poet shows that his father took birth as a Brahmin, yet his birth was ordinary and even his death could not be controlled by him. In spite of being educated, he died in the market of heart failure and he couldn't save himself. These lines, in other sense, mark that he has achieved nothing in this world or in his life. His birth was ordinary and his death was also ordinary, and what he did in life showed nothing but his incapability of doing things. In stanza 6, the poet comes to know that two lines were written for him in an inside column of a Madras newspaper, which is sold by the kilo. Here by the kilo he refers to junk, after 4 weeks of his death to the street hawkers. In stanza 7, the street hawkers sell it in turn to the small groceries. From these groceries, the poet buys salt, coriander and jaggery in newspaper corns, which he reads for fun. In the 8th stanza, the poet says that he began to buy more of these things in hope of finding these obituary lines which were written for his father. In the end, he says that his father left with them with a changed mother. Changed mother here refers to her sorrowful nature and more than one annual ritual. The poet is showing his dislike for the ritual which is celebrated in the memory of his father for his peace. Thus, the poet says that his father achieved nothing in this world except those two lines. Refers to the obituary lines which were written in the newspaper. He could never find it out. On the other hand, he left an unbearable burden on the poet. So the entire poem is a critique. Through the poem, he is criticizing the father and his incapabilities. That's all about it. Thank you. Hope you have understood.